Talking about, or what I want to present to you is this expectation. Can you say expectation? Expectation. Idea. How many of you have ever expected something to happen that didn't happen? Easy question. Right? My hand's up because that's me. All right. Look around. Look how many hands are up. All right. So that's virtually everyone here. So everybody has expectation. And I think if you don't remember anything else, something that you might bear in mind is that at some point in your life, if it hasn't happened already, probably for the rest of your life, you're going to be met with unmet expectations. You're going to be in this like confrontation between what you want to happen and what actually happens. And much of the time, if you ever find yourself angry, it's because something you expected to happen didn't happen. All right? Put it to the test right now. How many of you have been angry already today for one reason or another? Show of hands. You don't have to tell me why. All right? Cool. There's mad hands up. There's hands up everywhere. All right? Now, here's my next question. Who's brave enough to actually say what they expected to happen that didn't happen? Really quick, like 20 seconds. Was anybody willing to share that and say why they were upset this morning? And it didn't. And Savannah, what was the result of that? Anger. See? Proof positive. All right. Yeah, was your hand up?
Yeah. A friend betrayed me.
Okay. And it made you angry, yes?
Angry and disappointed and that, I guess.
Okay. And so, again, you expect one thing to happen and it doesn't. I don't expect people to betray me necessarily, but sometimes it happens. You have one? Okay. Oh no, so now your eyes hurting, huh? It's not good. Are you still contagious? You good? You're past that part? I was going to say, because you got a pretty good friend sitting next to you. I love you through pink eye. I don't care. All right, well, I'm sorry. I hope you get some drops then, because I had pink eye and it's not fun. One more. Okay. Do you play a sport? So you were all ready to like play your sport again and now you're still hurting, still in pain? Okay, yeah, I get it. You need your thumb, man. At least I need mine. I don't know about the rest of you. Is your thumb? I couldn't hear it, so. It's purple? Well, it's Advent season, so purple's a royal color. How many of you know what Advent means, by the way? Because I'm going to actually attach that to this message. Advent, what does it mean? Okay. An order, you said? Kind of? All right. Advent, A-D-V-E-N-T. Yes, ma'am. Oh, the pink eye. What is your name so I don't call you pink eye? Jody? Joey. Okay. Okay, no, that is kind of an Advent tradition, like opening gifts leading up to Christmas. That's part of like Advent tradition. What does the actual word Advent actually mean? Anybody want to take a stab? I know you're afraid. You're like, if I'm wrong, then I'm going to be the embarrassment of my nation. Not really. Yeah.
Basically, like something annual, like maybe an annual event, something like every Sunday you go to church, something like that.
Okay.
Kind of like a cycle.
Like a cycle. Okay. Well, Advent is part of the cycle, so that has some bearing in truth. Advent is regular. It is something that we do every year. Advent officially means, is real simple too, the coming of Christ. When we say Advent, we're talking about the coming of Christ. Now, Christ is going to come again, but we know Christ came once already, and when he came, he was incarnate, and he was on the planet Earth, and he walked among people. And this time of year, we kind of lead into celebrating the fact that he showed up in the first place, that he showed up at all. And something I've been challenging the young people at my church to do is think about, what does that mean for you? It's one thing to celebrate like Talladega Nights. I know some of you have seen it, even though you want to act like you don't watch movies. But like I know, like everybody laughs, and they were like praying about the little 8-pound baby Jesus and stuff, right? Which is hilarious. And we tend to focus at Christmas on that, you know, away in a manger, we three kings, so forth and so on, which is hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn king. He didn't stay a baby though, we know that. We know that from the Passion of Christ, if any of you actually have seen that, which is very graphic, which you may not have seen. But I've been challenging our young people to think of coming in the sense of, since Christ came into your life, what does that mean? Now, the reality is, for some of us here, that's not a reality yet. Christ you haven't really allowed him to come into your life. You might feel guilty about that. You might not care. You might be pursuing God. But whatever the case, there is something to be said for this idea of letting Christ come in and be a part of your life when your expectations, especially when your expectations about life, are not met. Okay? Now, when we're young, and you guys still are, me not so much, when we're young, this is a great time of year to really think about expectation, because if you're like me, I expected a lot. I didn't always say I did, but I really wanted all those presents under the tree to be for me. I really didn't. I was looking for my name. That's not for me, it should be. That's not for me, it should be. Where's the biggest gift? Hopefully it's for me. And we made the rounds when I was a kid. We went to see grandma, we went to see the cousins. Walk through the door, where's the tree? Where's my gift? You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. I'm keeping it real on a Wednesday morning. And so, I am. You guys are like, that's not me. I totally don't care if I get anything, you liars. And the truth's not in you, right? Naaman. Let's go back to this guy. Okay, there's a story about a man named Naaman. I'll be brief. It says, Naaman commander, we're in chapter 5 of 2 Kings. Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Aram, was a great man and in high favor with his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Aram. The man, though, a mighty warrior, so he was a mighty warrior, but it says he suffered from leprosy. Now the Arameans, verse 2, on one of their raids had taken a young girl captive from the land of Israel. So Naaman is commander of an army, and that army had taken captive a young girl from Israel, which is customary in wartime to take, you know, people as prisoners of war and stuff like that. So this young Israelite girl ended up working for Naaman's wife. And so this little Israeli or Hebrew servant girl, in verse 3, it says, she said to her mistress, which is Naaman's wife, we don't know her name, if only my Lord, small l, so she's not talking about God, she's talking about my Lord, my master, the one who took me into captivity, in this case Naaman. She says, if only my Lord were with the prophet who is in Samaria, he would cure him of his leprosy. So Naaman went in and told his Lord just what the girl from the land of Israel had said. And he immediately went to, it's funny because she calls Naaman her Lord, then he goes in and tells his Lord, his king, what this girl said. Hey, I have a chance to be healed. Now, touchdown if it's bad, okay, this lets me know you understand. Put these touchdown arms up if you think leprosy is bad. If you've ever heard of okay. All right. Now, if you're like me, I see a word like leprosy and I'm so curious, touchdown all of you. I go on the internet, obviously, I'm YouTube, and what the heck is leprosy, right? Now, leprosy was a skin disease in biblical times. We're not sure exactly the extent to which it could damage like your extremities, your hands and your feet. Here's what I know about modern leprosy. It can cause your foot to fall off. Like, these are pictures you don't want to see. There are people who have been excised to communities outside. I know people, you're like, huh? I say, yeah. I mean, imagine something like, I love oranges, and when oranges rot, they get moldy and they get dusty. Like, you drop them and mold goes poof. It's like a cloud of green. You ever seen that? All right. It's kind of like that in a modern era. In places in 2012, there are places where people suffer from a form of leprosy. Starts as a skin disease, flesh eating, all kinds of things. Literally, limbs can fall off. Limbs can misform and be misshapen to where there's pus dripping and disgusting, right? And you're looking at it and it doesn't even look human. Now, in this time, there's a lot of speculation about what leprosy actually was. Needless to say, two things could happen. One, it wasn't curable. Two, it was probably painful. And three, it caused your skin to change colors. You know, I mean, no joking. It's like me looking like Michael Jackson. I have leprosy, and now I'm the late like Michael Jackson, not the dude from the 70s, but the one like right around the time he died that was 5 to 6 shades lighter than when he was born. All right? So Naaman has this serious disease. He has an opportunity to be cured. He immediately goes to his Lord, his king, and says, there's an opportunity for me to get well. So he went. It says, the second part of verse 5. He went, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 sets of garments. Verse 6 says, he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which read, when this letter reaches you, know that I have sent to you my servant Naaman, that you may cure him of his leprosy. All right, and so something else happens. For the sake of time, I'll speed it up. All right, what happens is the king of Israel gets this letter. And you had to bring a letter with you back then because the king, you can't just come before the presence of a king without authorization. So he comes forward. And the king of Israel, it says later in those verses that he tears